This X-Men 162 came back from the CGC as a 6.5 or Fine Plus. And the great description for a 6.5 is that the copy is it's an above average copy that shows minor wear but is still relatively flat and clean with no significant creasing or other defects. Now, eye appeal is slightly reduced because of light surface wear and the accumulation of small defects, especially on the spine edge. A Fine Plus comic book appears to have been read a few times, but has been handled with moderate care. Now, as far as bindery defects go, small to moderate accumulation of minor defects are allowed. One or two more than fine, very fine. So again, we're getting more and more discerning as far as how many defects we're allowing. Now, what are we going to be looking for in the cover? The cover and the exterior book is going to have minimal to minor wear beginning the show and possibly some small wear at the corners. Inks show a moderate to major reduction in reflectivity. Blunting or abraded corners are beginning to appear. There also might be minor accumulation of creases that are being apparent. And we still can have stamped or inked dates on the cover. There might also be slight discoloration, staining, or foxing. Now, as far as the spine goes, slight to minor spine roll is allowed, and there can be also a 1/8 spine split or color break. You can see now we're getting very small here. We're talking an 1/8 of an inch spine split or color break. Now, staples can show some discoloration. Slight to minor staple tears and slight accumulation of stress lines may be present, or slight rust migration. Now again, this is where some of the bindery defects that can be allowed are like if a staple was missed being put in, but again, all those staple rules apply as far as what types of staples, vintage or modern, that you can put into specific brand of the book. Alright, so let's take a look at this cover. This book is of course featuring Wolverine, this Uncanny X-Men issue. And again, we're looking at the cover. It is very clean. Sometimes it's difficult to see where some of the stress creases are, the color breaks are, because of that webbing. But there is one down here in this corner going on a diagonal. It's a good, 1/2 an inch to 1 inch long. We have a small color break. Actually, is that the... Nope, that's a color break. We have a small color break happening up here. I thought it was the web for a second there. The colors, the corners are a little rounded, a little abraded. They're a little frayed. They're a little smooth when you feel them. They're not that sharp edge. Again, some slightly rounded corners. Now let's take a look at it for any dents or creases. And I can see a crease happening right down there on Wolverine. It's happening right here. You can see that crease happening right along Wolverine. And it's a crease that it's not creating a color break, but it's a crease nonetheless. It's not too large. It's about this big. And that's really the only crease I'm seeing. No little half moon, finger digs. Oh, there's another crease happening. See if I can get that light. Right here on that corner by his leg. So there's another good sized crease over there. Now this came back from CGC. This was a CGC book that was cracked. Then it also came in with white pages. the brood there. And nice clean interior, no staining. The spine is really tight. No smell of acid or acidicness. I don't think that's a word, acidicness. Again, here, these are considered bindery defects, and they are okay. And if we look in here, the staples are in great shape. They're actually got a nice shine to them. They're very chrome-like. I don't see any discoloration. It's something I have to do now that this is open. Let's take a look up here. For the Avengers, number 20, $7. Doctor Strange, $169. $3.50 back in 1982. That you could not, if you can find that book for that now, grab as many as you can. These are really awesome, these old catalog pages. Again, there's no tears, no rips going on. Paper is very supple, very easy. I'm not worried it's going to crack at all. Again, at this level, the brittleness should not be a factor. Great page there. Very white back cover. No discoloration at all. Very much of a shine to it, you can see that. And if we look at this back cover, again, an incredibly white back cover. I don't know if we've seen one this white. There is some wear up at the top by the Star Wars logo, but the rest of it is very sharp, very white. So again, we've got some creasing going on here, some abraded edges, and that's what's knocking this book down to a 6.5. But let's go ahead and take a look at a couple other 6.5s to compare and contrast the defects. Okay, now this 6.5, of course, is a Doctor Strange number 1, the second run of the series, and we can see that, again, it's starting to, the cover looks pretty good at first glance. There's no real sort of things that jump out at you. There is a bit of a spine roll because we can see this staple at the top of the book. Of course, it should be on the side. The edge too here is a little dark. It should be white. If we do our light test, well, actually, we can also see right here a good color break happening. So there's a color break right by that snake. And there's also a color break that's starting down here and works its way all the way up the length of the book. So I would think that if I do this and do the light test, that's not like an actual term, I've just made that up too, the light test. We can see that we've got some folds, of course, a little bit of a crease happening here and going up to his leg. We also have some other creasing that's happening by the snake and by his upper leg. There's some color breaks also happening up by the word comics and over by the comic code. Now if we open this up and take a look at what we've got in here, the paper is a white to off-white. Very tight staples. We're not seeing any staple pulls. And even when we're looking over here, there are some creases, some stress creases that are happening here, but we're not seeing any pull away on the staple area. I'm getting no acidic odor at all from the book. Feels clean. I don't feel any rippling. The staples are in place, so the centerfold is not loose. The staples are in good shape, slightly discolored, but not rusted. Great page there. Again, no tears, no discoloration, no staining. A little bit of a missing edge to that page, maybe like 1/8 of an inch on that corner. Pretty clean book all around. Very white back cover. And if we flip it, we have the usual sort of staining along, or not staining, but sort of grime along the spine area. And we have a little crease going on right here. So again, like the main things that are really holding this book back are these creases that, again, you wouldn't have really noticed unless you sort of tilted the book and looked at it that way and felt the book. Because a book like this can have really good eye appeal, and still does, has great eye appeal, and that can be deceiving in what grade it actually is. So make sure you feel the book and you tilt it to look at it in the light. Now we're going to take a look at one more 6.5 or Fine Plus graded comic. All right, now the last 6.5 Fine Plus we're going to take a look at is this copy of Iron Man and Submariner. And if we look at the book, we can see that there is some blunting and abrasions on the corners. We also have a little bit of scuffing or color break on the bottom edge of the book. There are some color breaks along the spine. We have an abraded corner here. It's kind of fuzzy. So there's quite a few color breaks on the spine. Staples look like they're in good shape. We have a slight spine curl there. If we look at the book, tilting it in the light, really only see, it looks like there's, if we look here down by Iron Man's leg, we can kind of see a bit of a crease happening. So other than that, it's pretty tight as far as creases go and dings. And this is a fairly old comic, so this is in really nice shape. Let's look at the back cover. Again, good shape. There is some type of something happening over here, a little stress in the spine. Maybe like the book was sort of bent this way. Now if we go through the book, the interior, really clean inside here, white pages. It does look like there is a bit of a tear. Oh no, that's just a little piece of paper there. Not a tear. So we have nice white pages, really tight as far as the spine goes. No play there whatsoever. Great looking pages. The color is fantastic. No stains or tears. Again, the color, the corner here is a little fuzzy, a little abraded through the book. A little rough right there. We get to the centerfold. Again, staples look great. A little black, but not rusted. No rust migration. The centerfold is in there very tight, not loose whatsoever. No acidic odor whatsoever. Moving through it very easy. The pages, again, have, of course, no brittleness, very supple. And here's that little piece of paper thing. It must have come from the printer or something, sort of just there, but it's not a tear or anything. The staples are doing well in the back here. Decent color here, not too brown. I always wanted this book safe when I was a kid. I don't know why, but I always wanted that. Here we are again at the back cover, and again there's this little folds or creases that happen there. It looks like somebody pulled up on that corner and that caused those things to occur. But all in all the defects and the flaws are under what it would take to, drop this book lower. Of course, get rid of a few of these things. This crease right here, some of these abraded edges, and of course this down here and some of those spine ticks, and it would jump this book up. Again, it's all about how many of these defects we're finding. If there were fewer defects in this book, it would jump it up a little bit. A few more and it's going to drop it down. And again, over time you'll learn, watching these videos, practicing, what it's going to take to hit the correct grade in your books. So we've had a chance to take a look at 3 really great books that came in at a solid 6.5. And again, as always, look through your collection of friends or maybe your local shop and find some books that come close to this, a 6.5, and see if you can hone in better at a 6.5 grade.